Hi there and welcome to another episode of Ask VSA, where we answer all of your questions regarding singing. If we could help you or someone that you know with their singing, we would be absolutely honored. We have numerous studios with male and female teachers here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. I also just want to plug that Vox Singing Academy was established in 1993, so we are very, very experienced and we are built to last. We also offer online singing lessons worldwide 7 days a week. And if face-to-face singing lessons aren't your thing, we also do offer the ultimate online singing course. Please check out the links below for more info. If you like this channel, give it a like, thumbs up, click subscribe. If you have a question, please put it in the comments below. And if it's a good question, I will answer it if it's about vocals. Without any further ado, let's get stuck into the next question. Why is my voice getting hoarse when singing? Okay, so it's a very common question. Why is my voice getting hoarse when I am singing? So I'm going to give you the top 4 reasons why your voice is going to be getting sore or hoarse whilst singing. The number 1 reason is bad technique. That means your technique is bad. And with any physical activity, if your technique is bad, it is going to come and cause you grief. Now, it doesn't matter whether that's walking, running, lifting weights. If you've got a bad technique, you will end up injuring yourself eventually or doing some sort of damage. So having a great technique when you're singing is absolutely imperative if you want to sing for any length of time. Now, a number 1 tip as well too, if you want to save yourself a lot of time, money and heartache, is get professional singing lessons from a fantastic singing teacher like we have at Vox Singing Academy. We will always, with all of our students on their first lesson, we always assess the student. We also ask them what genre and what they want to get out of their voice so that we can customize a scales workout for their voice. But we assess the student singing on the first lesson so we can find out what they may be doing incorrectly and then rectify those particular points. Now, a couple of points regarding bad technique that you may want to also look at right now is, I'll give you a couple of hints with that. Number 1, look at yourself in the mirror when you're singing, because you will see what is happening, but most importantly, sometimes what is not happening, okay? So number 1, always stand up when you're singing. It's no good to sit down. If you are going to sit down, make sure your upper torso is straight. So practicing in a car, big no-no, because you can't activate your diaphragm properly. So I'm sitting down now, but my upper torso is straight when I am singing, but I'm not singing that much now, I'm only speaking. Looking yourself in the mirror, keep your posture relatively straight. When you're singing high notes, don't raise your head up too high. When you're going for low notes, don't put it down low. As you can hear, my larynx is getting stretched when it's going up high because my outer laryngeal muscles are compressing my larynx. And also I'm compressing it when I'm going down lower as well too. So watch your posture. When you're singing, watch what your mouth is doing in the mirror. Because if your mouth isn't working and you're pushing big or loud sounds out through a very small gap, it's going to put back pressure on your cords and it will hurt them. So if you're singing like this, let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. I don't know, my mouth's not working. I've got to push a big sound to make that work. So if I'm going, let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. You can see my mouth is open, the sounds are coming out, they're just flowing out. It's a lot more natural. So make sure that your mouth is working. Watch what your neck is doing. We don't want to be going, let it be, and tighten up all of this area here, or push down with your shoulders, or raise up your shoulders when you're singing. That means you're activating other muscles that shouldn't be working. The only one muscle that should be working when you're singing is your diaphragm. That's this one here, okay? So you want to breathe your diaphragm when you're singing. It's very, very important that we do that. And that wants to tighten up and do all the heavy lifting and working, so relax everything else, okay? So there are some big tips and hints to do with your technique. Okay, so just a couple. Let's move on to the next point. So let's move to number 2, because I want to make this as short as I possibly can. Number 2 is that the song that you are singing is in the wrong key for your voice, and you would be straining it. Now, this generally happens with a lot of singers when they're trying to sing up too high, or some singers. I teach a lot of hardcore singers, or if they're singing a song that may be a bit too coarse for their voice, or they're trying to sing a harder technique and they don't know how to do it. So that's a really, really big one. It's a very common one. A lot of singers come in and sing songs or try to hit notes that are out of their range. They'll strain, they'll hurt their voice. They'll also sound generally stupid or silly, not stupid. They'll sound silly and might not hit the pitch. So sing songs that are within a good key for your voice and where your voice is going to sound the best and you're not going to hurt your voice. Also, if there are coarser techniques that someone is doing in a song, possibly just learn the song in a cleaner technique firstly before you start to try to incorporate some light, coarser techniques, and then do them as hard as you can. So build up to that. So if I'm learning a harder song, I always go in and sing the song clean, and then I incorporate dirtier techniques later on as hard as I want to do that. That's number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is you're lacking stamina in your voice. Now remember, your voice is a muscle. It's like any other muscle. And if we were, for instance, going to go jogging, we wouldn't just put the runners on and start to go and jog 5 or 10 Ks, because you're going to pull up sore the next day. You won't be able to probably walk the next day because of muscle strain and tightness. So you will just hurt yourself, and that gets you nowhere in the long term or short term. Okay, so if you're going to go jogging, we would basically just start to jog by doing maybe a 10-minute walk and maybe a very light 5 or 10-minute jog or canter, and then another 10-minute walk to finish up on the first day. Same with your voice. Okay, and then we would build that up daily, okay, jogging, and we would try to do a little bit more, and then over the course of a month, 2 months, you'll be able to maybe jog for an hour or 2, maybe 6 months, you'll be able to do a marathon. Same with your voice. Your voice is a muscle. Please always remember that, and it will get tired. And if you don't get enough sleep, or if you're stressed, it's going to show on your voice. Particularly if you don't get enough sleep, it will really show on your voice. If you miss a couple of, you had 2 or 3 nights of really bad sleep, it's going to show in your voice, and you'll feel it. It won't have as much stamina, even if you normally have a lot of stamina. Pardon me. But lack of vocal stamina is why your voice will also be getting hoarse as well too. A lot of people say, hey, look, I can sing for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but then my voice starts to get hoarse and I can't sing as high, and it goes downhill, and my control goes. And that's the reason why, is because you haven't got the vocal stamina. So with all of our students at Vox Singing Academy, we get them on a scales workout. Every single student has a scales workout, whether they're 4 years old or whether they're 90 years old. Every one of them are doing a scales workout. One for occupational health and safety, so that we're taking care of their voice. We always want to warm the student's voice up before we do any singing, so that's very, very important. But then we increase the amount that the student is going to be practicing their scales and singing. And that doesn't matter whether they're a hobby singer or a pro singer like these guys. We always start off with a light workout. So generally, if you started at Vox Singing Academy, you would start with maybe 7 minutes a day, and then you'd probably sing a couple of songs. But then the next week, we would increase that to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes. And that's for your general hobby singer. It's about 15 to 20 minutes worth of scales. Then you can sing for half an hour or as long as you feel that you want to. My pro singers, they have customized workouts, and they may be on more. Some of my pro singers will do anything up to 45 to 50 minutes worth of scales, and then have a bit of a break, and then sing anything up to an hour and a half if they need be. Some of these guys here, they go and play around the world and tour, and they sometimes need to do an hour and a half, 2 hour shows. So we build them up to that. So stamina is very, very important, which is nearly related to point one, which is bad technique. So stamina is super important, and that's how we gain stamina in the voice, is by doing more and practicing most days. Even my hobby singers that come in and sing, actually I don't teach any hobby singers anymore, but our hobby singers, they would generally do at minimum 5 days a week of scales practice and singing. All of my students, semi-professional and professional, minimum do 6 days a week. 1 day off just for rest and recuperation, but generally 6 days a week. And the last one is you're singing too long. So it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people love singing and they'll sing for a long time, and they'll go to karaoke and they'll sing for an hour or two. And then they'll feel that their voice is hoarse and they can't speak the next day, but that's also the reason why as well too. If you do anything for a long enough period of time, you will get fatigued unless you have great stamina. So don't sing too long. You know, for your voice to sing an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's probably about the tops that you're ever going to get out of it. Even my big touring guys, 2 hours is the tops that you will need to sing for. And even with that, you're not always singing that whole time. When you're touring, you'll be guitar solos and breaks between songs and whatever it might be. So if the set is, for instance, 2 hours, they may only be singing for an hour and a half. So that's really the reasonable length of time for you to sing for. Now, I have a lot of people that rehearse. All my bands, they all rehearse before shows and recordings. And rehearsal sessions generally run for about 5 to 6 hours. Generally, you get there at 6 o'clock in the evening and the rehearsal will finish at 12 o'clock. Or, if you've got a Saturday session or a Sunday session, you generally get there at maybe 10 in the morning and leave at 5. So please, as a vocalist, remember that your voice isn't going to last as long as what, the guitarist will, because the guitarist can play all day. His fingers might get a little bit tired or whatever it might be. But please remember that your voice, singing well and singing in a good volume, it's generally going to last about an hour and a half. So if you're at rehearsals, please have a break, or recording session, have a break. And try to have a break before you start to feel fatigue. You'll feel your voice starting to, I'm getting a bit tired, getting a bit fatigued. Time out right there and then. Have half an hour off. Go for a bit of a walk. You can still be there with the band and you can still watch them rehearse and take down notes about songs and the musicality of the songs that need to be improved. But just have a break vocally. Always stay hydrated. It's a really important technique regarding bad technique is drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. I always have a thermos. All of my students know, whether it be summer and it's 40 degrees or winter, I always have a thermos, and it will always have a room temperature to hot water. I'm not quite sure whether you can see the steam coming out of that there, but that's quite warm water. So stay hydrated. The best thing to drink as for a singer is just solely water. It is the absolute best thing. They're my tips about why you are or possibly could be losing your voice and getting hoarse. If you have any of these symptoms and you want help with them, please check out the links below. We'd be more than grateful if you come and use our services for us to help you or someone that you know with their singing. As I've said, we have numerous studios here in Melbourne with both male and female teachers. We also offer online singing lessons worldwide, 7 days a week. And if face-to-face singing lessons aren't your thing, please check out the Ultimate Online Singing Course. All the links are down below. Please like this channel, subscribe to keep up with other great content. And until the next video, please live with passion, be good to each other, and enjoy your singing. Peace and much, much love. No editing.